because he's like, look, we haven't been competitive in this league for 25 years. So we need kids who are independent, who are going to say, yeah, well, I can do this. Like, I'm self-sustainable. I don't need someone to hold my hand the whole time. Like, you know, I come from a winning pedigree, and I want to make this a winning program.
And he's getting gym rats, too.
Exactly.
You're a little
Okay.
low, Wes, just in case.
Yeah, you are a bit low. And
To hear you.
I'm like very hot.
Yeah, so is this.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at that. Nice.
Better. You can just scream at me. Scream at us, I should say.
I like that open. Okay, blocked in, hide him in. Yeah,
Okay.
right. Okay.
King,
Yep.
Danny. Yeah, okay. Wilborn.
Who has not been very good lately.
Davenport, yeah.
And Davenport.
Okay.
Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo.
Yep, Yo-Yo, top 10 scorer. Great.
9th all-time now, Providence.
Yeah,
whatever
let's
you
do
want.
it.
Where do you want us to come in? You bring it in? I didn't see the roll open. Thank you. I was looking at something. Just when we come to the L statue, you want me to come in? Okay.
Look at that. That's a cool poster.
Yeah.
Made buckets, plenty of those for Marquette. And here we go.
Close enough. Two. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Al McGuire Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the campus of Marquette. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. That's my bad. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Al McGuire Center on the campus of Marquette in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is time for Big East basketball to start as the season opener for both teams, Marquette and Providence, gets underway this afternoon. Hi, I'm Kent Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher, and welcome to the Al McGuire Center. And Matt, when we look at this game as a season opener, there's always excitement around the Big East as you have one team that's probably the co-favorite in the division with the league at DePaul and Marquette, but then you got the up-and-coming teams like Providence.
Yeah, you know, Providence, this is a side. My bad. Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw that. Well, I'm just going to keep talking and pretending like I'm doing it. Yes, Kent. Jim Crowley in his third year is finally getting some players in that he feels like can really build the culture at Providence. A tremendous freshman class that's already made an impact. And, boy, they've got a tough task slowing down the juggernaut that is Marquette.
As big as their freshman class is, Marquette's got a seat.
For the third straight year, the Big East women's basketball
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Al McGuire Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the Marquette campus. It is Big East basketball, the season opener for 2018 and the 19 season between Marquette and Providence. Hello, everybody. I'm Ken Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher, and we welcome you to the Al, affectionately as it is known. And this is a big game. All season openers for both teams are big games. But Marquette, a co-favorite in the league, along with DePaul, playing Providence, who's an up-and-coming team and got a lot of good young players.
They do. Jim Crowley really high on this freshman class. They've already made a large impact through the non-conference slate, Kent. It'll be interesting to see how they fare in a hostile environment against a veteran-laden Marquette Golden Eagles side.
Yeah, Marquette will start 5 seniors, 5 1,000-point scorers, one of the few teams to do so, Matt.
Yeah, the only team in the country right now with 5 1,000-point scorers, one of just 5 teams at the NCAA Division I women's basketball level to do so in the last 20 years. Very veteran-laden, and I think the big thing with this Marquette team is the maturity. They've played a lot of minutes, these 5 starters.
And the funny thing is you have 5 1,000-point scorers, and you can add a 2,000-point scorer to that because Alizeo Blockton is on the cusp of scoring 2,000 points in her career. No Marquette player, men's or women's, has ever done so.
No, yeah, she is an incredible player, and I think she's going to be looking to bounce back today after a sluggish performance against a very good Notre Dame team right here just a week ago.
And Providence has got their own stud in Yo-Yo Nogic.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Nogic is a fantastic player, a senior in her own right, top 10 scoring at Providence all time, and has really found a niche around the perimeter, almost a 40% three-point shooter.
And they're bringing in a super freshman in Mary Baskerville, who is really the real deal for Providence. An athletic girl's got some length and skills. Not the type of player that's been at Providence in the past, but the type of players that Jim Crowley, the head coach, is trying to bring in.
And that's something we'll talk about throughout the broadcast for sure, Ken. He is recruiting a different type of player, someone who's tough, competitive, and a gym rat. And Mary Baskerville is just that, coming off Big East Freshman of the Week honors.
Season opener right around the corner. We'll be back with more on the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ken Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher. And we're ready for the Big East season opener, the lid lifter, Matt. And the starting lineups for the Providence Flyers today, it's Chanel Williams, Mary Baskerville, Yo-Yo Nogic, Maddie Jolin, and Olivia Orlando. There's some experience there, but they also got that super freshman in Baskerville.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was talking with Jim Crowley before this game. He said Yo-Yo Nogic, for the first time in her 4 years at Providence, has players around her who can also make plays. Should be a really fun matchup tonight.
And for the Marquette Golden Eagles, it's the 5 seniors: Daniel King, Natisha Heidemann, Alizeo Blockton, the all-time leading scorer at Marquette, 2 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer men's or women's basketball, along with Davenport and Wilborn, the 5 seniors in a familiar role, all starting. And the tip is up, and it's controlled by Providence. We'll look for Providence to run the offense. They would like to get into a meet, not a track meet with Marquette, but they would like to go up and down the floor with them at their pace.
You already see Wilborn pushing the pace. That is what Marquette likes to do.
And Heidemann just inside, misses inside, off 23 points against Notre Dame the other day. Inside rebound comes down to Marquette, and Davenport goes up and in, so that's 2 misses early on for Marquette. Both point blank misses, Matt.
Not something Carolyn Keeger likes to see, but this team gets a lot of shot opportunities throughout the course of the game.
Perimeter passing now by Providence. Jolyn cut off on the baseline, goes back out on top. Now down low, inside on the drive is Williams, and she loses the handle quickly. Marquette in transition, and that's one of the things that Providence needs to do is get back in transition defense.
Agreed, and I think also tonight, especially for them, rebounding becomes that much more important because Jim Crowley said, look, we can't get into a track meet, as you alluded to. The way to slow down Marquette is to crash the glass because the first 2 transition opportunities have been on long rebounds.
And there you saw Baskerville inside with that rebound, a strong rebound, and that's something Providence hasn't had as a strong front line in the past couple of years, but they do so this year. They have height and size.
Not respecting Kayla Webb's jump shot whatsoever.
And there's Danny King quickly in transition, loses the handle, another turnover for Marquette, and Providence will bring it across the other way, and they quickly get up the floor.
Look at this. Wilborn back in the paint, giving Webb 3 feet at the top of the key.
And now Williams with the dribble. She's getting a lot of room as well. Inside, down low, nice pass and a nice bucket that time by Orlando.
Beautiful feed, and Olivia Orlando getting more playing time this year due to openings on the roster.
Nice give and go there from Heidemann to Davenport, the all-time assist leader for Marquette. Heidemann this year, as well as in the past couple of seasons, dishing it off there for the easy bucket. We're tied at 2. Jolyn, step back jumper, way short, way missed the rim, in fact, and went out of bounds underneath the basket. So Marquette will have it going the other way. Right now, not the most crisp game to start early for both teams.
Well, not terribly surprised there. Both teams had long weeks off, 7 days. You know, you've got the Christmas holiday.
Inside blocked and misses. The first 2 points will tie her with Jarrell McNeil for the all-time leading scorer at Marquette men's or women's. Jumper no good that time by Nogic. Rebound put back, no good, and Marquette down with the rebound on the second missed opportunity.
Baskerville's got to put that away. Yeah. Kent giving Marquette a transition opportunity.
And quickly Marquette goes down low, and not only did Baskerville not put it away, now she picks up a foul on the other end, compounding the issue. And that will send Marquette to the free throw line for the first time in the ball game, and Davenport will go to the free throw line. Davenport, I don't want to say mediocre free throw shooter, but only at 52%. That, I guess, would qualify. Huh?
Well, and this team in general, not in the top half in the conference in free throw shooting. I think that's one area Carolyn Keeger really wants to see her team improve. Down the stretch of the postseason, getting to the charity stripe and being efficient at the charity stripe, that's an area that can really help or hurt you when you get into the NCAA tournament. This team has high aspirations.
And Marquette, 69% free throw shooting as a team. The second one missed by Davenport. Marquette +1. And quickly, it's Providence and the Friars up the court. Nice pump fake there, time, and a step back 3 by Nogic, no good. Down with the rebound is Heidemann. And that was a nice pump fake that time by Nogic to free up her defender.
Great feed into Davenport.
And now Spingola into the ball game, goes back inside to Davenport, and she's blocked and a foul. And if that's on Baskerville, that's her second foul here early in the ball game, and that will be trouble for head coach Jim Crowley. He'll probably have to sit her on the bench for a little bit.
I thought she got a lot of ball on that one, but referees saw it otherwise. Jim Crowley arguing his case as well on the far side.
One of the things Jim Crowley said to me at the practice yesterday was, we got to play the first 5 minutes of this ball game without getting blitzed. We can't get behind quick in the ball game where we're so far behind that we're playing catch-up right away. If we can avoid being blitzed, we'll be okay.
Well, Marquette has tried to push the pace. They just haven't gotten the ball to go in. Neither side has. A combined 2 for 14 to start the game.
And Davenport missed 2 free throws, so she is 1 of 4 from the free throw line early on in this ball game. But Marquette will get the ball underneath their own basket, bring it back in, and run the offense. Heidemann looking for that 3. She had 3 threes against Notre Dame in a key stretch in the game the other day. And she is a specialist from outside the arc.
She's really matured, too, in terms of her leadership ability and fighting through adversity throughout the course of a game.
Long 3, blocked in, no good. It's off the body, I think, of King, and it will go the other way to Providence. And when I asked Keeger about the players so far in non-conference, I said, who has really stood out? Now, everyone thinks, okay, you got Blockton, who's going to be a 2,000-point scorer. But she told me that Natisha Heidemann was the most consistent player in non-conference play. Foul inside before the shot. And Heidemann picks up the foul. Coming out is King. Coming back into the ball game is Amani Wilborn, the other senior of the 6 seniors in this class. Carolyn Keeger's first recruiting class has been a bonanza for her.
They have been. And she said when she took over this program and brought this class in, that they had the goal of becoming the best team in Marquette women's basketball history. And they certainly have the talent to do so.
Absolutely. And they have not got past the second round in the NCAAs. And we'll tell you about that goal in a minute, as inside the shot by Williams, not taken, and then it's kicked out in the corner that time to another freshman, Geary. She misses the long shot from the left corner. And quickly in transition, Wilborn has it now to Heidemann. Oh, what a no-look pass inside to Davenport, and she puts it up and in. That was a sweet-looking dish.
They really need to get the paint game going tonight against Providence. It was lacking a bit against Notre Dame. And, of course, Notre Dame, one of the best teams in the country. Providence doesn't have the same size as Notre Dame, but still important for Blockton, Wilborn, and Davenport to get action early.
And we've got a turnover by Providence, and we've got a timeout, and Marquette has a 3-point lead at 5-2 with 4:58 left to go. We're back after this on the Big East Digital Network.
Thanks for spending your birthday with us, Aubrey. Enjoy the rest of the game. Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Welcome back to the Al, as it's affectionately known, for the head coach of the 1977 men's championship team, Al McGuire, a legend here in Milwaukee and a legend in his own right as well.
And
Matt Schumacher!
Yeah,
hey!
right, of course. No, but in all seriousness, the legend that is to become, coaching in the middle of that huddle right now, Carolyn Keeger's done a fantastic job of turning this program around and building it into not only a perennial power in the conference, but an NCAA postseason contender.
Yeah, she's 81-59 overall, and this is being her 5th season at Marquette. In a couple of years, she didn't reach the pinnacle where she is now and where the records are now at the top of the Big East in the league. But they are definitely one of the premier teams now in the Big East. And their goal, Carolyn has stated, coming into this season is to get to the NCAA and pass the second round. That's the farthest they've ever gone, is into the round of 32. But they want to host. They want to host this year here at the Al McGuire Center, or whether it be somewhere else, maybe Fiserv in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But that's the goal, is to host, and for that, you have to be a top 16 seed.
I think this team is more than capable. I mean, really, when you look at how they played against Notre Dame, this was a team that was leading Notre Dame after the first quarter. It was a team that played really well against a number 6 team in Mississippi State. They lost by single digits. Lost by single digits to a top 25 Miami team.
Yep.
The real test for this Marquette team is going to be, can they put it together for 40 minutes? Of course, there will be lulls throughout the game, as is the case with any basketball affair. But the talent that they have on this team, they have to be able to find the hot hand when someone else is struggling, because with 5 1,000-point scorers on the floor at one time, they certainly have the star power to get it done.
And that's one of the things they've talked about, is this team isn't a great team that dishes out the assists. They don't care who gets the recognition. They just want to win the ball game. Marquette back with the ball out of the timeout. Bengola has it, top of the key. She's been a good scorer off the bench for Marquette this season. Heidemann with the dribble, crossover, now goes down low, tried another no-look pass inside to Davenport and picked off that time by Orlando. And quickly up the floor is Providence, and then they set in their offense. Providence is trying to get it up there and trying to get transition points, but Marquette is so good defensively on getting back, and that sometimes gets overlooked because of their offensive firepower.
Been a major point of emphasis for Carolyn Keeger towards the back end of this non-conference slate.
Jolynn pump fake, drives baseline off the glass, a little bit shy, had the open shot. Marquette down with the rebound quickly in the forecourt, and driving into the lane is Wilborn, kicks it out left to Spingola, a little short on that three.
Just how quickly Danielle Kane gets it from one end of the floor to the other. It's a blink of an eye. Just so fast. I think Carolyn Keeger will want her to maybe slow it down just a tad to get some help in the front court. More options to dish it out to.
And foul on the drive that time, the foul on King, her first personal, blocked, and will be back into the ball game for Marquette. Heidemann will take a seat for head coach Carolyn Keeger. Not great shooting so far in this ball game. Providence at 9%, Marquette at 22%, so I think the Providence is probably feeling fortunate only to be down 3 in this ball game in the first quarter. Inside foul on the drive that time by Jolynn. And that will send her to the free throw line. First free throw opportunity for Providence in this ball game.
I think if you ask Jim Crowley midway through the first quarter which team would have more shots, I doubt he would say his own side. But here they are with 11 attempts at the basket to Providence's 9.
And Jolynn, the 93% free throw shooter, knocks down the first one. Selena Lott will check into the ball game. Spingola will check out.
Providence has done a really nice job of recovering in transition defense, not allowing Marquette to get the easy shot.
Second free throw good by Jolynn, and it is a 1-point ball game. Marquette loses the handle. Second turnover in the ball game for Marquette. Quickly up the floor is Jolynn. Baseline jumper a little bit shy that time by Webb. Nice inside rebound by Providence, and they throw it away. So a couple turnovers here in the last 2 possessions by each team. Quickly transition, Marquette forecourt, left-handed three-point shot, good by Heidemann. And Marquette widens the lead to 4, their largest in the ball game. Well, baseline passing for Providence. Marquette playing man-to-man defense here. They've had some zone already in the ball game. And they throw that one away. Does Providence to the bench of Marquette. Turnover number 3 for Providence in this ball game.
And what Marquette is doing on the defensive side is they're forcing perimeter passing. And that's something that Carolyn Keeger told us they were going to try to do against Providence, sagging into the paint a little bit with the man, giving them space on the outside.
Well, Providence wants to reverse the ball. They want to go side top side with their offense in that ball to try to create mismatches and opportunities, having the defense on the offside be misplaced. And the traveling against Marquette down low. Turnover for Marquette, their 3rd in the ball game. And with 2:29 left to go in the first quarter, Marquette up 8-4. I don't think Marquette has scored this few points, it seems like, in a quarter in a while. I know they had 11 in the second quarter against Notre Dame, but they're only at 8 so far against Providence in this first quarter.
Chalk it up to the holiday hangover, I think, partner.
And a good defense. Providence is a very, very good defensive ball club. Long over-the-top pass that time to Blockton, and she's fouled from behind, and that will send her to the free throw line for a pair of free throws.
Well, initially, Alyssa Carey made a great recovery, a step behind Blockton, but with her length was able to get it off the backboard.
And Gary at 6'4", the freshman from Elmhurst, Illinois, she runs the floor really well. And she got back there in transition defense. And Blockton, if she makes these 2 free throws, will tie Jarrell McNeil for the all-time leading scorer in Marquette history. Both will be at 1,900 and I believe 85 points.
Indeed, 15 points away if she knocks this down from becoming the only 2,000-point scorer in Marquette basketball as a whole.
And she now has tied Jarrell McNeil as the all-time leading scorer in men's or women's basketball at Marquette. And quickly Marquette with the turnover in the forecourt. Blockton, step back, pull up, jumper, and it rolls off the rim, and the rebound put back by Van Clunen, no good. Blockton gets the board and looks to go up and kicks it back out to Wilborn, now to Selena Lott, now inside to Van Clunen. Great defensive help that time by Providence. They were really clamping down inside defensively, getting help from the weak side. And the foul that time was called against Erlette Scott, just into the ball game out of Brooklyn, New York. And you talked about this, or we talked about it before the game, Matt, about the fact that the recruits coming into Providence are coming from a lot of areas you might not think that they're going to get them from. As in Alizea Blockton inside with the bucket now becomes the all-time leading scorer at Marquette, surpassing Jarrell McNeil with that bucket. She has now 1,987 points in her career, closer to 2,000. Inside on the drive, foul against Marquette. That will send Nogic to the line.
And Providence is going to need more of that from Yo-Yo Nogic. She's experienced. She's played in environments like this before. The pace has gotten a bit helter-skelter for Providence's liking. Very youthful, not a lot of experience on the floor. This is where Nogic has to take over.
That free throw ended the 7-0 run by Marquette in the last about 2 minutes. And that's the thing that Jim Crowley says they can't do. They know they're going to have times where they're off in their game, but they can't give 12-1, 13-1,
right,
11-0, 10-0 runs. They got to minimalize the runs to stay in the ball game. Both free throws are good. It's 12-6 in favor of Marquette. Man-to-man defense for Providence. Now they're switching it up.
And defensively, Providence has really made Marquette work in the half court.
And they're on the drive, going down on the drive on the foul. For Marquette, I believe it's Blockton. Hard to tell through the masses of the bodies. Actually, take that away, take that back. It is Blockton. And she's coming up limping. Something obviously Marquette cannot afford. Hobbling to the free throw line, getting her bearing straight. Alizea Blockton, the leading scorer in Marquette history, men's or women's basketball, with 4 points so far in this ball game, surpassing Jarrell McNeil. No player has ever scored 2,000 in Marquette's history. Providence, they've got a 2,000-point score. They got a Tracy Liz in the 92 season, finished her career. She's got 2,500 points.
It's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. Blockton good on the first free throw. Second one is good. I think she's going to come out of the ball game as she limps, sort of a little hop, and it looks like her left leg. Whether it's a thigh or a hip, we don't know. We're not medical doctors, and nor do we play any on TV. So we'll just wait to hear the medical diagnosis from Marquette and their trainers. Backcourt pressure, first time Marquette's applied full court pressure in the backcourt. Right side, long three, short that time, but the rebound put back, and that one is missed on the putback by Cooper on the missed three by Williams. Inside pass, and it goes off Providence and will stay with Marquette underneath their own basket with under a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Nope, they're going to say it goes to Providence, so I correct myself. Spingola back in, Van Clunen out. So Lott along with Davenport, Spingola, Heidemann, and Wilborn on the floor for the Golden Eagles at this time. Providence in the forecourt against the Marquette zone. Long three, no good that time by Nogic. And Marquette comes down with the rebound. Again, the shooting. Providence shooting 6%, 1 of 16 in this ball game. That's a tough number, and you're still in the ball game, only down by 8. Marquette's not thrilling the scoreboard with blinking the lights either at 30%, 4 of 13.
No, but what they've been able to do is force Providence into tough situations defensively where they're fouling, and thus Marquette is getting to the free throw line. But you talk about Providence's struggles, 1 for 16. Yo-Yo Nogic has only taken 3 shots, including that NBA range 3. They've got to find a way to free her up a little bit, get some easier shots.
And what's really hurt Providence is when they lost Baskerville to the 2 fouls. They were in this game early on, and they stayed close. She went to the bench with that second foul, and since then, Marquette's put some distance between them and Providence. And like you said, at the free throw line, Marquette is 6 of 9 from the free throw line right now. Now make it 7 of 10. So that's the difference right now with their 10-point lead, the largest in the game for Marquette. Providence will get the last shot out before the quarter ends. A long shot, misses, and it will be Marquette plus 10 at the end of the first quarter. You're listening to Big East Basketball on Big East Digital TV.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center, downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Big East basketball, Kent Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher. And Marquette on top, plus 10 at 16-6 over Providence in the season opener for both teams. And there you see Natasha Heidemann inside to Erica Davenport. She's good at the assist game.
She is really good. Top 10 in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio. And Natasha Heidemann, we talked about it earlier in the game, partner has really matured and taken over as the leader on the perimeter side for this team.
And before Marquette went to the break here after the end of the first quarter, coming out of the game was Alizeo Blockton. She was limping out of the game. We have yet to see her return to the game.
She's not even on the bench right now, so probably getting looked at back in the training room. Have to keep an eye on that because, of course, she is a key part of this roster. But now we get to see a little depth from the Marquette Golden Eagles,
which they have plenty of.
Yes, they do.
Some other players will get the minutes, and there's a pass across court picked off that time by the Friars and Williams, and she misses the driving layup, and coming up with the rebound is Heidemann. And that's one of the things that gets overlooked in Heidemann's play. She's a really good rebounder. And you look at her and you look at her size and you're like, how does she get those rebounds and get such inside position and stuff? She uses her quickness and other things, doesn't she?
She absolutely does. You know, I'm just looking at the reaction of Jim Crowley. The problem, the one thing you run into with a young team like Providence is being able to handle the moment. And Chanel Williams did a really nice job of picking that pass off and getting all the way to the cup. But she could feel the steam coming behind her and just a little heavy off the rim. It's those plays that keep you in the ball game.
And you've got to make those plays against the top team in the league. And the missed free throws. Marquette's missed a bunch of free throws. Even though they've made 7, they've missed 5 free throws in this ball game. But they've been missing the free throws. And more importantly, after the miss, they've been getting the rebound and getting a second and a third chance. Inside to Davenport, back outside to Heidemann, now to Spingola. Marquette looking inside, trying to exploit the middle with Baskerville out of the ball game. And Heidemann on the dribble drive penetration, kisses it off the glass with the left hand. She's a left-handed shooter, and sometimes I think people don't recognize that, and she's able to drive to the rim and get her shot up. Inside foul on Davenport on the drive by Cooper. Marquette, largest lead in the ball game right now at 12. A couple interesting points in this ball game. Matt Bakersville with the 2 fouls and Blockton with an injury.
Yeah, and Blockton has not returned from the dressing room yet. Baskerville is still on the bench. You wonder how long Jim Crowley's going to hold her there in the second quarter because her presence has been desperately missed.
Free throws missed by Blockton, so both teams missing free throws in this ball game. 4 of 6 for Providence from the line. Marquette 7 of 12. And Providence struggling from the field, 1 of 18. Nice move inside by Heidemann. Doesn't finish the basket, but was able to get open with a little spin move. Friars bring it into the forecourt. Trying to get inside, but Marquette's really closed off the inside. There's a dribble penetration by Williams, and the shot is blocked that time by Wilborn. Williams went down quickly in transition. Danny King goes coast to coast, missed the driving layup, though. And then a foul after. Or they're going to say the ball went out of bounds. They say it went out of bounds, and it will belong to Marquette.
Just some sloppiness around the rim. Really what it comes down to is just having that bit of composure in the final touch around the rim. And, you know, if Marquette makes half of the layups that they've missed in this first half, they'd be up by 15 or 20 right now.
Yeah, inside misses for Marquette has been a little bit of a struggle. But Providence has gotten shots up. They just haven't made their field goals. And there's another turnover by Marquette. Good anticipation on the passing inside by Providence defensively. Jolyn, pull-up jumper, no good. Who else with the rebound? Heidemann. Blocking foul that time against Jolyn.
Ultimately, though, you talk about Providence's defense, of course, one of the best in the conference in terms of scoring defense. But at some point, you're going to have to find where you can score on the floor. 1 for 20 from the floor right now in the first half.
Well, Providence is doing what they do. They held opponents to 34% field goal shooting, 27% from the 3. They've done that. They just haven't made shots. And Marquette's missed a couple as well. No team really shooting the lights out here this afternoon. 31% for Marquette, 5% for Providence. And Providence will have the ball after that one going out of bounds near half court.
And Jim Crowley working the officials. He's a competitor, and that's the type of player he's recruited here to Providence now in his 3rd year.
You talked about that before the game. You and I were discussing where the players have come from. Expound upon that for the viewers here about where these players are coming from for Providence.
Well, you know, it's interesting. You look at their roster, and in the last year and a half, 2 years, he's gotten a lot of players out of New York City. He's gotten a player out of Detroit. He's getting players who have been successful in gritty leagues and teams. And he said that's what we're looking for, players who are not only coachable, but who have a hard will about them, because we're trying to do something great, something that hasn't been done at Providence in the last 20 years, and that's compete in the top half of the Big East.
You want those blue-collar, gym rat type players.
Exactly.
And they're getting them. This freshman class is good.
Kayla Webb out of Michigan, played at Detroit Country Day. Orlette Scott from Brooklyn, New York. Chanel Williams from the Bronx.
Davenport on the drive there gives Marquette their largest lead at 20-6. It's been a struggle offensively so far in the game for Providence as they continue to shoot miserably from the field, 1 of 21. And Danny King on the drive. Left side layup is good, and she's fouled. She'll have a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And Mary Baskerville waiting to check in, and the timeout has been taken by Jim Crowley.
You talked about needing to get her back in the ball game before this second quarter becomes too late. So it's Marquette plus 14. You're listening and watching Big East basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Back at the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Marquette and Providence in the season opener for both teams. I'm Ken Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher. And Matt, the ball movement for Providence has been a little bit of a struggle for them. We know they're a three-point shooting team. They've been the best in the Big East for the last couple of years. But today they've struggled shooting the three, but also ball movement's been an issue.
It has, and you look at some of the shots that they've taken, Kent, and really a lot of them have been contested, fading away from well beyond the three-point arc. They have not been in good situations to take clean shots. Now, part of that is Marquette's defense, but part of it, I think, is the youth of this Providence team trying to figure out how each other moves, how to break down a veteran-laden group like Marquette. Jim Crowley said, look, we're a motion offense. And even though we're a few months into the season now, we have a lot of players who have not played with each other yet. We're still figuring out where and how each other moves on the floor.
And they've got some senior leadership in Jolynn along with Nogic, but you're also playing a lot of young faces. And you addressed this earlier about the fact that Nogic doesn't have the pressure on her anymore to sort of carry the load like she has maybe done in the last couple of years. And now she's getting some help. And that's where the help has got to kick in for Providence, especially in games like this. Free throw is good for Marquette and King. She completes the three-point play. And this run for Marquette has put them up 23-6. And Providence still looking for another field goal. They've only had one in this ball game, and they just missed that one, so they're 1 of 23.
And Nogic is 0 for 4, but she has to keep firing. She's getting good shots in transition around the painted area. Eventually they're going to start falling, and they need them to fall.
And Baskerville is back into the ball game off the timeout. They tried to go inside to her, and she lost the handle turnover for Providence. See if she makes a difference. Inside, there's Danny King with the bucket. Nice assist as well.
And that's the issue you run into when you play a team like Marquette or DePaul, and sometimes even Creighton as well, who comes in here at the end of the weekend. you look up at the scoreboard, and in a matter of moments, it can be a 20-point ball game.
And this is the blitz that Jim Crowley talked about as Baskerville hits the second field goal for Providence. This is the blitz he talked about we can't have happen in the ball game, and it has happened here really late first quarter, early second quarter. Inside, Heidemann with the bucket.
And now we're starting to see the breakdown defensively of Providence. I think fatigue is part of that.
Providence has got another team coming up on Sunday in DePaul that's just like Marquette. So this was going to be a good test for Jim Crowley and Providence. He felt that they were going to be excited coming into this ball game to play this and see where they are against Marquette. They don't want to say we're going to compare ourselves to Marquette, but they say we're going to do our things. We're going to run our offense. We're going to play our game, but we thought this was going to be fun and exciting this weekend to play Marquette in DePaul and see how we do.
In a true round-robin format, they'll get to play both teams at home later in the season. Certainly not an easy first weekend in conference play for a lot of players
Heidemann
who are
inside.
still new to this.
A little spin bucket. Heidemann leading the way with Marquette. 9 points in this ball game. She's 4 of 6 from the field. The most consistent player in the non-conference schedule for Marquette has been Natisha Heidemann.
And the coaches challenged her last year to be that consistent player for all 40 minutes. She's always been sort of the energizer, the vocal leader of this team since she stepped on campus as a freshman. Look there at Carolyn Keeger, a bit frustrated with some of the sloppiness, but at the end of the day, they're up 21. But Natisha Heidemann has taken that next step as a senior.
Sometimes that senior year has a way of playing importance upon your play in a basketball. Inside that time, Baskerville, so she's come back into the ball game. She has 2 field goals now since she's reported back in after having those 2 early fouls. And she has 2 of the 3 field goals for Providence in this ball game. Little step back shot that time from Heidemann. She's starting to feel it.
Wow.
She's hit her last 6 points for Marquette. And now Providence on the offensive side. I would go back to Baskerville. The inside loss handled by Williams. Marquette comes up with the turnover. Quickly up the floor to Spingola, right corner. Back to Lott. Along with Wilborn, Van Clunen, and Heidemann on the floor for the Golden Eagles. Williams along with Webb, Baskerville, Jolynn, and on the floor along with the freshman Geary. And the long shot that time missed by Marquette and Heidemann. And the ball will belong to Providence with 4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Marquette up comfortably by 21 points. And this was a low-scoring game. It was 5-4 at one point, Marquette in the first quarter.
Marquette has gotten easier shots, and I wouldn't be surprised if Carolyn Keeger told her team to just be more composed, slow it down just a touch, which they have here in the second quarter, and as a result, they've finished around the rim.
Geary looked at that long three, didn't fire it. Baskerville, baseline, no good on the shot. Might have been partially blocked, and it comes to Marquette. And there's Spingola, right corner, three, no good. Inside rebound. Look at Wilborn go up along the large people inside. The ball's knocked loose, and it comes down to Providence. Marquette doesn't show a lot of fear inside against the bigs of Providence. They're willing to challenge them, Matt. Pull-up jumper. No good that time by Wilborn. The rebound comes down to Providence. So here's a little lull for Marquette. Providence needs to take advantage and try to get back into the ball game, and an inside drive or foul is called against Marquette on the drive that time by Webb, the freshman. She's a scorer. She can hit threes. She can score. You know, she finds shots. She's a girl that will find her shot in a ball game.
Did not get the start tonight. We haven't seen her until this second quarter, but she's absolutely somebody who can contribute. Shoots it well, has a nice pull-up. Her dad is a longtime coach, so she knows the fundamentals of the game, and Jim Crowley said one of the treats of coaching her is that she's picked up on the lingo very quickly as a freshman.
And she had a good college debut against Penn State where she knocked down 15 points. And at the free throw line, the first one is good for Webb.
Out of Detroit Country Day. A gritty player, was the Detroit Athletic Club Female Athlete of the Year and a Miss Basketball finalist in the state of Michigan. And it goes back to your point. Kent, about bringing in a different type of player in year 3 for Jim Crowley?
You're looking for ballers, players that can play.
And players who can create their own shot.
Exactly.
Which is something they haven't had with the exception of Yo-Yo Nogic over the last 4 seasons.
And it might not happen this year in the Department of Record for Providence and Jim Crowley, but it will come along, and there's a 3 ball for Marquette and Heidemann. She leads all scorers with 14 in this ball game. She's having a very good game, 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point land.
And what I'm most impressed with, while the numbers are spectacular, 6 of 9 shooting, I'm more impressed with how she's taken over control of the game. Very helter-skelter pace in the first quarter. She slowed it down and been composed.
And with the caveat, Blockton has been out with an injury, and she's taken over since. Oh, what a move inside, crossover, dribble back to the middle, and then a little lay with the left hand over the front of the rim for Heidemann. She continues to be sizzling with 16 in this ball game, and she comes up with a steal in the defensive side. Oh, she wanted to pull up for that 3. She was thinking about it.
She could feel the eyes of Carolyn Keeger, though, at the back of her head saying, do not dare take that shot.
When you're in a groove, man, you seem like everything's going to be in. You think that basket is blown up, and you're going to find the holes. Inside Davenport, nice pump fake, goes underneath the basket and uses the rim as a defender and puts it up off the glass for 2. Davenport with 9 for a chance to get into double figures. Will be the only other player on the Marquette team in this game in double figures should she hit the free throw and complete the 3-point play. And coming in will be Sophia Widmeyer, the freshman from Nova Scotia. Foreign players, Clara Chase from Spain on the roster of Providence. And the free throw is missed by Davenport, so she'll stay in single figures for now. Marquette up plenty. Offense coming a little bit alive for Providence as they missed the baseline drive on the shot that time. By Webb, and Marquette quickly down in the forecourt in transition basketball. And it's an offensive foul against Marquette. I've been talking with Carolyn. She told me, we like to have this thing we call the 10-10 rule. I'm like, okay, I'll bite. What's the 10-10 rule? She goes, we like to get down the court and get our shot up within 10 seconds, and we don't like the opponent to come back and get a shot off before 10 seconds are left on the shot clock.
It's a good rule.
If you can execute it, it's a great rule.
And they've been able to execute it this afternoon to precision.
Marquette up with about a minute left to go here in the second quarter. Early on, both teams struggled shooting from the field, and that's been the case for Providence. They're only shooting 10%, 3 of 28. Marquette's up their shooting percentage at 48%, 14 of 29 from the field. Inside, going strong to the bucket. That should be a jump ball, and it is on the drive by Murata, a heralded freshman whose dad played college basketball at Marquette, and her brother plays on the Marquette men's team, Cam Murata. So the family and Marquette basketball, a lot of synergy there.
Here's this 1-2-2 trap from Marquette that has forced some turnovers here in the second quarter.
Right ball, corner 3, no good that time by Webb. Long rebound comes down to Heidemann, and she goes right by the defense. She's hammered hard as she goes to the rim, and she makes the layup from the left side. She goes down with the foul. We'll have a chance for a 3-point play. But that time, the foul came in hard, and the foul that time by Cooper is the kind of message, though, you can send. It wasn't a dirty play. It was a clean play, but it was a hard foul saying, if you're going to come into my house down underneath under the rim, we're going to make sure you have to pay for it to earn those points. And she paid for it. And Heidemann misses the free throw. She has 18 in the ballgame, leading all scorers, both teams. And Providence, with the shot clock dark, should be able to run out the first half with the last shot attempt here in the second quarter. There's a chance to come from the Marquette stands, and we are Marquette. Nice crossover dribble inside there with the shot, though, is Williams, a little bit strong on the miss. And down with the rebound, Marquette will end the half in control, up 40-12 over Providence. It's been a good first half for Marquette, a certain struggle, Matt, for Providence from the field shooting. And we'll be back with halftime programming. You're watching the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the campus of Marquette. Kent Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher. Marquette in control at 40-12 at halftime. And it's been a couple of things. Struggling from the field has been Providence in this ballgame, quite simply.
Well, they just haven't found a way to efficiently and effectively move the basketball in a way that can create open looks. Yo-Yo Nogich was held to 4 shots in the first half. All were contested. And she's a player who shoots 40% from beyond the arc. The fact that she's only taken 4 shots in the first half gives you an idea of just how stout this Marquette defense has been.
And Marquette saw their leading scorer, their all-time leading scorer, leave with an injury. Alizale blocked him, but Natisha Heidemann has stepped up.
Yes, she has. She's been spectacular, right on cue with how she's been all season long. A truly veteran performance in the first half from Natisha Heidemann.
The Big East Conference will host its 3rd annual transition game program September 8th and 9th in New York City. The interactive program aims to assist current women's basketball student athletes in the transition from a college player to emerging professional, both on and off the court. Big East schools will send women's basketball student athletes who have been selected at the institution's discretion. Nearly 30 student athletes are expected to attend this conference along with the leaders from across the conference's campus administrations.
Family came together for the annual transition game program. Nearly 30 student athletes attended the event in New York City, which aims to assist these players in the transition from college to their professional lives, both on and off the court. Fittingly, the program begins with Big East alums who can lend their perspective about playing at the next level.
And this year we had our player panel was all Big East former student athletes, which was really special. And I think it was great for the young women to see the opportunities that exist after their college career, whether they want to go overseas or try to aspire for the WNBA, or even sometimes an injury might prevent you from pursuing that dream off the court, and to actually hear from players who've gone through some of the highs and lows of transitioning from college to the next level.
So much, whether it's about playing overseas, if that's something I want to do, or how Caroline Coyer talked about how her professional life now. I just learned so much, and it's such a great to take in and really think about.
I was really excited. I knew that they had done these transition games in the past, and I actually had a friend who did it last year, Emily Lear, and she just loved doing it. It's just really cool to give back, and especially I think when you are separated from the game a little bit, this is like a way to stay connected with the players and give back like your experience and all of your perspective that you have.
I didn't know Jessica January did all of that, what she did, so I was like, oh, she's a former teammate. I looked up to Jessica. She was at DePaul, and I still do. So it was like very exciting for me to see her just give back and like come back. I didn't know she was going to be here, so I was like, oh, hey, Jess.
I think it's phenomenal to be able to have been a part of a conference that sets their athletes up for success and doing whatever they can to make sure that they have those opportunities. And I think it's great for these athletes to be able to take advantage of it, and especially for us on the panel to be a part of it, and just having experience and hearing what other people have to say are some of the biggest lessons that you can take with you, and I think it's great that they have that chance.
Additionally, Transition Game discusses the opportunities in basketball that go beyond playing at the next level. For Providence Associate Head Coach Priscilla Edwards, it starts with networking.
It's just so important. We interact with so many people, from boosters to donors to professors to common supporters of the sport. Just getting to know them a little bit more, and also talking more to your ambitions and things that you're passionate about goes a long way. You find that those connections that you make years ago might come back, once you're done playing and benefit you in multiple ways.
While another basketball season lies ahead, what Transition Game is all about is preparing the Big East student athletes for their future.
Going into my senior year, this is definitely helpful, just giving you confidence and giving me some faith that after basketball there's going to be something, and there's always going to be, because of this network that we're making through the Big East.
It shows that they really care about us, because they care about what we do after college and how it's going to happen. They're not just like, okay, go out there and figure it out yourself. They're really helping us, and I think it is really valuable.
I think the Big East Conference really stands for the holistic approach to education. And that includes not only the athletic piece, but also the academics, working in the community, and really developing our student athletes as complete people. And this program, I think, more than anything, is a nod to that. We're trying to get them to really understand their full potential, especially when their collegiate careers are over. So for us, this kind of program, as does Freshman Fundamentals, really represents the essence of what the Big East is all about.
For the third straight year, the Big East women's basketball family came together for
Welcome into the Big East Digital Network Villanova guard and the Big East Player of the Week, Kelly J. Cott. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Your team's win over Georgia was your third 20-point game this season. You're averaging 14 points per game. Last year, you averaged 11.3 points per game. How has your game offensively developed this season?
Well, I always lended to Harry's offense, and now that I'm a junior and Mary's a junior, Adriana and Jana are also upperclassmen, we're all very experienced, and we use his offense to our benefit. But yeah, everybody gets each other open on the passes, and like I said, his offense lends itself to shots. So
that win over Georgia was also your team's 5th straight win and your last non-conference game. What did your team learn about yourselves in non-conference play that you're looking to build off of getting into the Big East season?
Yeah, so we knew coming into the game against Georgia, they're an SEC team, they're really athletic. Our original plan was to do a box-and-1, take out their best player, but all of them were really good, so that didn't work out as well as we planned. But we worked through it, and that win was really good for the momentum of the season. But I would say our biggest thing was when we lost to Virginia Tech and UCF, it was kind of like a reality check for us, and that kind of was a turning point. And we realized, like, we can't give up these kinds of games. Like, we need to come back and win.
What did you learn in that reality check?
I would say we were up on Virginia Tech, and then we kind of blew the lead. So I think that our third and fourth quarter stretch, like, we need to pull through. And, like, when things aren't going well, like, we need to work together.
You open up conference play at home against Butler. However, that's 2 weeks after this last game. How are you keeping yourselves in game mentality over this break?
Well, we're still practicing. We practice all the way to the 21st. We'll be back on the 26th, and we play the 29th. So the break isn't that much of a break, but when we go home, yes, we're going to celebrate with our families, but we're also going to keep in mind that, like, we're still in basketball season. We're still ready to play.
What are some things you're looking forward to celebrating the holidays with your family?
So I'm one of 4 girls. I'm the oldest, and I really look forward to, like, watching my sisters have a good Christmas experience this year.
Kelly, when we were talking about the fact that you're one of 4 girls, all of your sisters play basketball as well, you told me. So 2-on-2, what are going to be the matchups and who's going to win?
So I would say I would match up with my sister Julie, and my sister Kate, she plays at St. Joe's, would match up with Jill. So me, Julie versus Kate and Jill. And I don't know, it would be a tough call on who would win that match, but it would be fun.
So after you get to relax with your family, your team heads into conference play. What are some of the challenges that playing in the Big East brings?
I think the biggest thing is that every single team in the Big East has potential to win any single game. So Harry and our coaching staff have emphasized multiple times that, like, it's on us. Like, if we don't come to play, then we could lose to any team on any given day.
What's the identity that your team is looking to build of yourselves in Big East play?
I think the identity that we like to bring is that we're consistent in every single game, and we're not going to let up on defense. Like, we might have an off day on offense, but we're going to come ready to play on defense.
Kelly, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the break and good luck the rest of the season. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. You too.
There you see the many feet at the Al McGuire Center. It's Big East basketball between Marquette and Providence in the season opener, and it's been all Marquette in the first half over Providence at 40-12. And looking at some of the numbers, Matt, not so pretty on one side.
Well, and really both sides started off sluggish. I think Natisha Heidemann asserting herself as the leader and as the floor general of this Marquette team has really turned things around, especially with Blockton out of the lineup now. Look, this is a Marquette team that started off 1 for 8 and has since gone on a huge run. Providence has to find a way to get open shots.
And one number that surprised me, 0 of 7 from three-point land, and this is a three-point shooting team by Providence that has been super in the last couple of years.
What you're seeing right now is really good defensive effort from Providence for probably the first 3 quarters of the first half, but they just couldn't get points offensively at a high enough clip to support the defensive effort.
There you saw 2 Providence buckets. They only had 3 field goals in the first half, but Marquette went inside and was able to exploit it. Then they went back outside. Heidemann there was on fire in the first half.
Heidemann 11th in the country in assist to turnover ratio, one of the top facilitators in the league, but she's also getting it done in every other aspect, scoring from deep and in the paint, using her body. The thing that really stands out to me about her, it's not that she's just fast with the basketball, but she knows pace and how to use her body, and she's done it exceptionally well.
Control, very good for Heidemann. 8 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point land. And she has just had a nice first half in 29 minutes. She's got 18 points, leading all scorers in the ball game. The Green Bay native in her senior year has turned it on and has become the most consistent player on the floor for the Marquette Golden Eagles and non-conference play, according to their head coach, Carolyn Keeger. She knows a little bit about basketball, being a 4-year star at Marquette as well here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with more in the second half. You're watching Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A little snowy this morning, nothing heavy though. You might expect that this time of the year in Wisconsin. Marquette on top comfortably over Providence at 40-12. Marquette coming in to this ball game, the season opener in the Big East, Matt. They were the co-favorites in the preseason coaches poll, along with DePaul, to win the conference, of course, coming off the championship last year.
Bit sloppy to start. I think there's no getting around that, but they have turned it around exceptionally well. Marquette has, and they've really shown just how much talent this roster has.
Some other games going on this afternoon. Xavier at Georgetown in the Big East, Butler at Villanova, Creighton at DePaul, and then tomorrow St. John's and Seton Hall, so everybody will be getting in their first Big East action to start this season.
The lid lifter across all men's and women's basketball.
And right out of the gate, it was Heidemann with the shot for Marquette. Inside, a little bit long, and Providence down with the rebound.
St. John's and Seton Hall meeting on the men's side this afternoon as well from the Rock. Sold out crowd at the Prudential Center.
Should be a good one. First test probably really for St. John's.
No doubt.
Even though they're 10-0 on the season.
Yeah, now 12-0. And so now they're really putting that to the test.
Yes. King dribbles inside, kicks it back out to Davenport. Thought King was going to continue to the hoop there, but elected to pull it out. Now she has it inside off the glass. Nice little shot by Danielle King.
You know, Danielle King's role on this team has really evolved over the years. She's a player who can fill it up, had 27 points against Mississippi State, a career high. But she does so many other things well that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, like making the pass before the assist. And she's really an underrated player on a very good basketball team here at Marquette.
Inside, Heidemann with the shot is good. She's in 20-point land with that bucket. She has 20 even. Previously, Baskerville had the bucket. She has 3 of the 4 field goals for Providence in this ballgame. She's showing that she is a super freshman to be reckoned with here in the Big East play. Just getting her career started. Long 3 is good by Nogic. Her first 3 in the ballgame, and the first 3 for Providence, a team that hit 192 threes the last 2 seasons in a row.
First open look of the night for Nogic as well. Good ball movement to find her. They need more of that. Forcing Marquette to work deep into the shot clock.
And Marquette coming out here in the second half, not as quick in transition, almost working the shot clock a little bit. And a long 3 left side, Davenport nails it. She's in double figures with 12.
Gotta love it when the bigs step out from beyond the arc and let it fly.
In the college game, there is nobody almost that cannot shoot 3. Very few players aren't capable anymore. It's a different game. Inside, bucket that time is good by Olivia Orlando. So coming out of here in the second half, 2 quick field goals for Providence, shooting a lot better than they did in the first half. And that time inside points for Marquette in the form of Spingola. Providence struggled in the first half, to say the least, from the field, but have picked it up here early in the third quarter. Jolynn maybe got away with a walk there. She got to the hoop and missed the shot, and the rebound down to Baskerville, and a foul is called. And Nogic, I should say, picks up her first team foul for Providence here in the second half. And this series here is the 20th time these two teams have played, Matt, and Marquette pretty much has had the large advantage, 6-3 at home and 14-5 overall in the series.
Crowley going with a bigger lineup. With Nogic, Gary, and Baskerville all on the floor at the same time.
And Baskerville just picked up her 3rd foul.
But at this point, you really can't afford to have her come out of the ball game. So she's just going to have to play a bit more cautious defensively. They desperately need her presence on the offensive side. Because without her, everyone just sags towards Nogic.
Yeah. And I think Jim Crowley also has to probably recognize he's got to let her play through this type of situation. Well,
they're going to let her
watch this type of situation. Right. I thought he might let her play, and maybe he's going to put her back in shortly as he's talking to Mary on the sidelines right now. Maybe he said, hey, these are things you got to learn to play with 3 fouls and play defense a different way a little bit and stay in the ball game because we're going to need you going forward, not just this game, but going forward, we're going to need you in the ball games. You are a difference maker for us as a frontline player for our ball club.
Marquette showing a little token pressure. It's an interesting matchup right now. Heidemann on Nogic. Huge size disadvantage, but the quickness of Heidemann has given Nogic trouble.
Inside bucket is good that time on the drive by Cooper. And for Cooper, those are the first 2 points for her in the ballgame. One of those heralded freshmen out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Actually, scratch that. She's a sophomore, not a freshman. Heidemann looks up at a 3, squares up, shoots. A little bit long on the 3. Looked good when she released it. And Providence down with the rebound.
Great denial by Danielle King to keep it out of the hands of Chanel Williams.
Long 3 that time from Geary, the freshman. Like I said, Geary at 6'4", stepping out and shooting the 3.
This is her second shot attempt of the afternoon.
I've got to look and see how many 3s she has on the year. How many do you think she has?
Made or taken?
I'll say made 3s. Alyssa Geary at 6'4".
3.
Is that your final answer?
It's my final answer.
She's now 10 of 17 on the season. That's shooting 56% from three-point land. Better numbers than I thought. Free throw, second one missed by Wilborn for Marquette. And a foul on Wilborn. Trying to go get that loose ball, committed the foul. Widmeyer will check into the ball game. Geary will check out of the ball game. Now, do you think Coach Jim Crowley is saying to her, I love that three-point shot, way to go, as he talked to her on the sidelines?
I mean, it was an open look.
Now here's transition basketball there. Williams was leading it, and then she pulled it back out. Now the pass inside to Widmeyer, and she throws up a shot that's a little bit off. And quickly trying to go the other way is Marquette. And there was Jolynn. She had the interception on the pass and lost the handle, and then it comes down to Danielle King, and King puts it in for an easy 2. She has 9 in the ball game. Marquette has 2 double-figure scores, and Heidemann with 20, Davenport with 13. Nobody in double figures for Providence. Inside shot missed by Williams. Down with the rebound is Heidemann. And Heidemann already 6 rebounds in this ball game. Inside shot by Heidemann, no good. She's fouled and she'll go to the free throw line. Davenport quietly has already collected 12 rebounds in this ball game. She's got a double-double with 13 points and 12 rebounds. We've got a timeout on the floor. Marquette up comfortably over Providence. You're watching Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center in downtown Wisconsin, downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I should say. On the campus of Marquette, it's been all Marquette this afternoon against Providence. Providence has struggled from the field, shooting 20% overall in the game. They only made 3 field goals in the first half, but in the second half they picked it up a little bit. Marquette shooting 52%. Today, it's been the Natasha Heidemann story. Matt?
She has been absolutely spectacular. Efficient from the floor, 9 for 14. Distributing the basketball, rebounding the basketball, but as we talked about at the start of the second half, most importantly, she's controlled the pace of this basketball game.
And she's done so many different things to help out this team, and that's the type of player she is. She gets rebounds, she creates assists and gets assists, she gets buckets, she can score. She can score in bunches as well. And she's just a complete all-around player. And with Alizeo blocked in out of the ball game due to injury, and we're still waiting for a report on that injury, it's been Natasha Heidemann that's picked up the slack here this afternoon along with a couple of her teammates. And Wilborn with a steal and a driving layup for Marquette right there. This is such a more mature team, and you would expect that, especially with 6 seniors on this club mat for Marquette.
Nogic just missed a good look in to Cooper. It's the little things that Marquette does. Danielle King
with the steal and the bucket, and she just stepped right in front of the passing lane, and Nogic sort of didn't really go after that ball, and that allowed King's quickness to get to it first. And there's another turnover in the backcourt on full court pressure applied by Marquette against Providence. Spiewak along with Orlando back into the ball game. Out of the ball game is Widmeyer and Scott for Providence. Providence looking for some type of connection offensively, and driving from Marquette and hitting the floor is Wilborn. She'll go to the free throw line on the foul by Providence. And that foul called against Olivia Orlando. And that will send Marquette and Wilborn to the free throw line. Wilborn, 79% free throw shooter. Gets really quiet here as the free throws are about to be attempted. And good. Marquette does a good job of drawing crowds here, Matt. I mean, obviously there's some games that you draw more, whether they play Wisconsin or Notre Dame or UConn, you know, DePaul when they're here. Those are really good draws for Marquette in this facility, which seats about 4,000. And I'll tell you what, it can get loud in here at times when this place is packed.
It's a really cool environment, very intimate stadium. Fans are right on top of you here at the Al McGuire Center.
And the facility here is top-notch for Marquette. Chloe Murata there with a steal at half court. Lott in the corner with it. Back to Heidemann. Now Heidemann will pull it out, call a play, and set up the offense. Heidemann can be the point. She can be also the 2 guard as she goes inside on the pass, and the shot is missed by Lott. and Providence comes down with it, but at half court, who's right there to steal the ball? It's Heidemann. She drives towards the rim, knocked to the floor. She'll go to the line on the foul that time by Providence, and that's Olivia Orlando's third foul in the ball game. Baskerville on the bench with 3 fouls as well for Providence in this ball game. Jim Crowley, the head coach, arguing he thought his player was straight up with her hands up. But a lot of times, Matt, you see players that lean in and get that foul because they're not vertically straight up. It's a tough call for referees. Heidemann leading all scorers with 22 points in this ball game. 3:25 left to go, 24 to be exact. Marquette on top comfortably in the ball game. They've been there since late in the first quarter. Early on, it was a struggle for both teams, and then Marquette picked up the offense for Providence. The offense really hasn't come till here in the early part of the third quarter. They have been better. Nice crossover dribble, pull-up jumper is good that time by Kaylee Webb. That was a nice little move. And in the forecourt, offensive foul against Selena Lott for Marquette. Lott, Heidemann, Murata, King, along with Van Kluwen on the floor. For Providence, it's Cooper, Jolyn, along with Spiewak, Orlando, and Nogic. And the pass there to Nogic, knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Providence in the forecourt. 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Left baseline jumper is good that time. In the book is Spiewak. The Arlington Heights, Illinois native, close to home, probably has some family and friends in the stands. About an hour, 15 minutes down the road here from Milwaukee. Long three, left side, no good by Marquette. Coming up with the loose ball is Heidemann. Heidemann's been everywhere today. And then she pulls up for about a 17-footer straight away. And just off the rim right, goes out of bounds. And then a foul off the ball. And it's going to be Van Kluwen with her second personal. Returning back into the ball game is Davenport for Marquette. Another full court pressure, token pressure, I should say, in the backcourt by Marquette against Providence, and Providence breaks it, gets it up the floor. And the long three missed that time by Nogic. And Matt, when you get that situation where you beat the press like they did, what do you want to do mostly?
You're going to find cutters into the lane, and that's something that they haven't had, and that goes back to the ball movement struggles that they had in the first half. I think it's also, too, a matter of youth and these players having not all played with each other on the floor at the same time, understanding where each other's going to be in a fast break situation.
Inside, Nogic, little jumper, bounces once, 2, 3 times on the rim and comes off. Soft touch on that shot, just didn't drop for Yo-Yo Nogic. And Providence down with the loose ball. And they'll try again. It's not for the lack of getting up shots. 43 shots taken by Providence in this ballgame, 44 for Marquette. But Marquette shooting 52%, Providence at 23%. And it was a struggle in the first half for Providence as they were 3 of 30 in the first half. Foul against Marquette. First personal against Murata. And as we talked about last night in the Big East men's game, Marquette was playing Southern last night, and her brother Cam Murata got into the ball game with about 4 minutes left to go. He's a walk-on player at Marquette, and he took a three and missed it, and it bench went nuts because they thought it was going to drop. He got another chance later in the ball game and drilled a three, only his second three as a player at Marquette for the walk-on Cam Murata, and Chloe, his sister, playing here at Marquette. And as we talked earlier, her dad was a star player at Marquette as well. Heidemann, dribble drive, penetration, pull-up jumper, left side, no good. Off the rebound, we've got a whistle and a foul will be against Providence or against Marquette. Marquette players are walking away, and they're going to call Spingola with the foul. For her first personal 15 foul. Marquette has gotten to the line 25 times. I'm sure Carolyn Keeger, the head coach, is happy about that, Matt, but they haven't really shot well from the free throw line, having missed 10.
That's been an area of concern throughout the first half of the season, shooting 60% today, 69% for the season. They've been able to make up for it, though, in other ways. Down the stretch, that'll be something they'll want to shore up. But in a game like this, hasn't made much of a difference.
Nope. Agreed. Man-to-man defense for Providence in an up-and-under move is Davenport, no good. Misses the first shot, but gets her own rebound and puts it back. Padding the stats a little bit there. Get a rebound, get a field goal. We're all good. Got about 30 left to go here in the third quarter. Marquette up comfortably. Long three, no good by Jolynn. And Marquette quickly in the forecourt on the pass to Heidemann up the floor. Nice bounce pass down low. Spingola, good job of handling the assist and converting the basket. That wasn't the easiest pass, Matt, for Spingola to handle in traffic. On top now, Providence with the last possession. Most likely in the third quarter, but I shouldn't say that because now Marquette comes up with the steal. And they'll look for a long shot by King. Way short, but Marquette will take the third quarter lead at 68-29. You are watching Big East basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
Wire Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the campus of Marquette. It's Providence and Marquette in the season opener of Big East play for this season. And it's Marquette comfortably on top of Providence, and they've done it without their all-time leading scorer who scored 4 points in this game, Matt, and then she has left with an injury. We are told she will not return to the game. Still waiting to hear what the injury is, but Elizea Malakton, who became the all-time leading scorer, men's and women's basketball, has been out of the game since the second quarter and will not return this afternoon. And we've seen Natisha Heidemann and Erica Davenport take over.
Yeah, we have. And you know, that's what great teams do. It's the next man, next woman up mentality. Natisha Heidemann has stepped up. Erica Davenport, who struggled a little bit to get going against Notre Dame, has really bounced back to have a fantastic performance, tying a career high in rebounds. Another double-double for Erica Davenport.
Now you just look at those numbers, 17 rebounds and 17 points, and it's just, really, really good. And she's a great rebounder. She has 870 rebounds in her career coming into this game, which was 12th among active NCAA players, and she's already added 12 more or 17 more to that total today. And incidentally, she had those 17 rebounds in another game, and that was against Providence as well. Inside move by Heidemann, nice spin to the middle, curl back right, and then a little bit short on the shot. Loose ball comes up, Spingola hits it from the top of the key for a 2. Foot was on the line. And Heidemann right now, back-to-back games. She had 23 against Notre Dame just a while back, their last game they played, which they lost to the number two team in the country, Notre Dame, here at the Al. And now she's added 23 so far. Nice give and go that time, and missed by King on the assist attempt from Spingola. Excellent passing up court by Marquette. Inside Nogic to the rim in the rack, and she has the driving layup. And Nogic in the ball game with 7 for Providence. Spingola long 3. I think that one might have been blocked that time by Geary. Geary and Baskerville really give Providence some frontline bigness that they haven't had in a while. And that should only help them going forward. Davenport with 18 rebounds now has set a new career high in this ball game. 19 with that one. There you go. She keeps ringing up the ticker on rebounds. And they just been getting the rebounds, Matt, and it didn't seem like she was dominating on the boards, but all of a sudden you looked up at the numbers here in the mid-third quarter, and there she was.
That's sort of been the MO of her career, too, being here at Marquette. She's not the flashiest player. She's got Alizea blocked into Tisha Heidemann, Danielle King, high-flying players who command a lot of attention. Davenport is just one of those players who quietly goes about her business, but is super productive.
Wilborn inside against the taller defenders, a little bit long with the shot. And Providence racing up the floor and then pulling it back out. And there's Geary. She likes that spot. That's 2 today from the exact same spot for the 6'4" Geary. 2 3-pointers for her. Wilborn driving layup underneath the basket on the reverse. And a foul is called against Marquette off the miss. Lott will come back into the ball game. Spingola will check out for Marquette. I'll tell you what, if Geary has that in her arsenal and then she produces a low post game with her size, Matt, she should be a very effective player going forward.
Not only that, but will spread the floor more for this Providence team, which, as we've seen today, is going to be a necessity going forward because Marquette has been able to successfully defend while sagging back in the painted area, allowing Providence to take three-point shots that just have not been able to knock them down.
Anderson into the ball game here. Jim Crowley checking his notes. What can I do in the last 7.5 minutes of this ball game to find some positives going forward as they will play Sunday at DePaul. Heidemann with the dribble, little one-on-one, and that's another thing that Crowley spoke of, the head coach at Providence, was we need to be able to, as a team, create one-on-one matchups. We right now don't have enough players that can do that, create their shots and create those one-on-one matchups like Marquette. You look at Marquette, and you talked about all the 5 1,000-point scores. They all can do that for the most part. Providence is looking for more of those.
Yeah, and quite honestly, there aren't many teams in the country that can do it the way Marquette does it. What a block by Mary Baskerville.
Anderson tried to go after her, and Baskerville was there and making sure she put the defense on her. Oh, I thought Geary was going to go from the other side on that three. She spotted up, had her feet set. And she's got a big
Heidemann.
Got a big on little. They got to go back in there. Geary's got Heidemann on the mismatch, and they just didn't even get it in there, and they turned the ball over. Now Marquette turns it over, and Geary has it to Baskerville. Look at that athletic move, streaking down the lane. Assist from Geary at 6'4" to Baskerville at 6'3", and she drives for the layup. Nice little 1-2 punch right there from the bigs.
But you can see it in the footwork of Baskerville. She is going to be a special player for this Providence team.
She's long, athletic. She's good around the rim. And Jim Crowley said, we haven't had one like her in a long time at Providence.
She's really added length and athleticism around the rim that's been missing. I think the next step for her is figuring out how to be more efficient with the basketball in her hands.
And Davenport with the bucket. She's fouled. She'll go to the line. So she's got 19 points currently and 19 rebounds. One heck of a double-double. She looks like she'll be in the 20-point range here. If she hits the free throw, she will join Heidemann in the 20-point club. Heidemann with 23, Davenport right now with 19.
Well, you posed the question earlier, partner, about what is Jim Crowley thinking here with about 6 minutes left. I think it's as simple as just win this quarter. Try to gain some positive momentum going to Chicago at the end of the weekend against a very good and well-equipped DePaul basketball team.
King, pull-up jumper, left side is good. And Marquette's doubled up to score +2 over Providence. And we find out now that the injury to Alizea Blockton was an ankle injury. So hopefully nothing serious.
Wish her a speedy recovery because the league loves Alizea Blockton. She's been a tremendous player and an even better person over her 4 years at Marquette.
Absolutely. Long three, Nogic is good. She's got a pair in the game. And the offense has picked up in the second half for Providence after the struggle in the first half. We're about just over 5 minutes left to go in this ball game, and Heidemann with the driving shot, left-handed jump up. And she has 25 in the ball game, leading all scorers.
And a new season high for Heidemann off the back end of a 23-point performance against the top 5 team in Notre Dame.
Yep.
Quite a week for Heidemann.
We'll see if she's in the ball game the rest of the way. Her career high was 30 against crosstown rival, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And Geary again loading up the three and shooting the three. She has 3 threes in this ball game. She's 3 of 4 from the arc, outside the arc, I should say. Impressive. Alyssa Geary, the Elmhurst, Illinois native, maybe with some fans as well and family in the stands. Not too far of a drive from Milwaukee. Anderson has it. Talat in the corner. Offside, Heidemann's jumping up and down looking for the pass on the offside. Instead, Selena Lott drives through the middle of the lane, cuts through the defense, and gets an easy bucket from the right side.
Really strong take from a young player in Lott who's still figuring out where she fits in this high-octane offense. And how about Nogic getting to the cup?
All the way in traffic. And Nogic has picked it up in the second half as she now has 12 in the ball game, scoring for Providence. And Providence, you know, has played better here in the mid-third quarter into the second part of the second half. We're going to take a break. Marquette on top comfortably. You're watching Big East basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Welcome back to Al McGuire Center. Kent Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher, Big East season opener for both teams. And you're seeing Isabella Spingola in the picture, one of the future players for Marquette going forward, as Marquette has 6 seniors, so they're going to have to replace some players next year with a recruiting class, but Lott's going to be one of those players. Spingola, Matt, players are going to count on next year going forward.
Yeah, Selena Lott and Isabel Spingola have both done a really good job of getting and finding their way onto the floor. And that's one thing that Carolyn Keeger told me about Isabel Spingola. She can now guard multiple positions, which has given her more playing time. And then Selena Lott averaging almost 20 minutes a game off the bench. She can push the pace. But it'll be interesting to see, partner, what happens with this program next year. They are going to be very youthful in a lot of spots, graduating 6 players.
But I'll tell you what, they got a long way to go in this season, and they're putting this season on the front burner to wait and see what happens. They have some big goals for this club, and the way Carolyn recruited, the way she has built this team, it was built for this class in their junior and their senior year to do what they have done. They won a Big East Conference championship last year. You know, the year they won before the Big East tournament title. We'll come back and expound upon that more after this break. You're watching Big East basketball on Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
Back at the Al McGuire Center, downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the campus of Marquette University. Big East basketball, Kent Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher. Carolyn Keeger addressing one of the young troops that will be taking their cues from her for years to come. But the senior class has been a great senior class for Marquette and what they have done and how far they have taken this team. And I talked to Carolyn Keeger about that, and she said it was about how far they can take this team, what they can, their legacy can be, how great they can leave the uniform. I think they have all bought into that, and their goal was to be playing in the Sweet 16 and host the first round of the NCAAs at home this year, Matt. And they talked about why we schedule the way we do in the non-conference and the legacy and what this team has done for the community and brought awareness to Marquette and the women's basketball here in Milwaukee.
Well, I think you touched on something really important, and that is the tough scheduling of the non-conference. They do it on purpose because Carolyn Keeger says her favorite part about this job is learning and growing and teaching. And the most teachable moments are after losses. Their 3 losses coming against the AP Top 25. They do it to prepare for the ultimate goal, which is to win a Big East tournament title.
Friars with the ball in the forecourt. And they're going to get a kick, and it will stay with Providence. I mean, you want those tough games to prepare you not just for your conference, but also prepare you for postseason. I mean, you'll probably see in Miami a Mississippi State and Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament, and you might see them again, but it gives them the early taste of what those type of games are here early in the season on the non-con schedule.
No doubt.
And it seems like Marquette, some of the players in those big games have risen to the challenge as well. Some of them seem to like the spotlight. You saw Heidemann 23 against Notre Dame. You know, we saw against Mississippi State. I'm trying to think, I'm blanking on who had the 27 against Mississippi State.
Danielle King.
It was King. Yeah, Danny King had the 27 against Mississippi State. So, you know, against those teams, they've risen to the occasion. Marquette has put up 80 in the ball game, and that's always a good number for Marquette. They've scored 80 points or more now in 10 games. You think they're undefeated in those 10?
High-octane offense.
Think they're undefeated in those 10 games? Final answer? They've lost one game where they scored 80 to Mississippi State.
That was a really well-fought game.
But this is one of the better offenses in the country is Marquette. And them and DePaul are the 1-2 offenses in the Big East. And that's always a great matchup between those two teams. Providence picking it up in the second half. They had 3 field goals in the first half. They now have 13 in the second half. So a little improvement and a lot of things that Jim Crowley can point to that they can work on and use as they go forward to springboard throughout the rest of the season. Marquette basically with the bench. Heidemann now out of the ball game, so she won't get to a career high. Inside Mukea, there had the shot, turned and kicked it back out to Murata, and time clock expired, so a shot clock violation. So no bucket for Murata.
They're going to roll it back and check the monitor. I think she got it off, partner.
I don't think anyone's going to argue either way.
Probably not.
With just about 2 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. But the referees aren't just officiating for this game. They're officiating, as they always do, for all games and doing what is proper. And the ruling here is they felt that a video review would be a good reason for this shot. Looking at the conference this year, you look at the non-conference schedule that the Big East played, I think it was one of the most successful non-conference record-wise, winning and losing for the Big East against the non-conference opponents. And you look at Butler, who's 10-1 overall, Xavier's 9-2, Villanova's 8-2, Marquette 9-3, DePaul 9-3, Seton Hall's 8-3, Providence is 8-4 non-con, 7-4 for St. John's, Creighton and Georgetown both 6-5. Some good wins in the non-conference for the Big East this season.
Here's another look at that shot. Did she get it off? Yes, absolutely. 100% ball is out before the lights come on. But to your point, you know, Creighton's a better team than their record shows. They dealt with a lot of injuries. Jalen Agnew was out for the better part of the non-conference schedule. But certainly when you look at the performance overall of this league against the non-conference, this is a league that's trending up. And that's great news. That's great news for this conference, top to bottom, especially when you look at teams like Butler and and Xavier, who fared so well in the first half of the season.
I mean, you got some really marquee players, and Tori Schickel, Deanna White, you know, the Marquette players, Adrian Hahn at VU. I mean, there's tons of players that are star-type players in the Big East League that are very, very marketable for the NCAA. Just about a minute and a half left to go, and they did not give Murata the bucket.
They did not. Violation.
The referee came over in front of us, tapping the top of his head to show shot clock violation. Inside Van Clunen, good with a little turnaround spin move. Getting nice position there. She just sealed off her defender down low and was able to back her down and just turn around, and it was about a 2-footer. That's effective offensively. Sandra Daling into the ball game for Marquette. One of the other seniors in the ball game out of the 6. 5 are starters, and Sandra comes off the bench for Marquette. Marquette in the backcourt. The ball was tipped, so it will stay with Marquette. Not an over and back violation, and a little contact there between Scott and Daly, and a foul called against Scott, her first. It's been quiet from the free throw line in the second half for both of these teams. Nobody getting there aplenty. But Marquette, 26 opportunities and 12 opportunities from the free throw line for Providence in this ball game. 30 seconds left to go in the ball game. Coming up, Marquette content to just run some of the clock on this possession. We're down to 10 on the shot clock, and then we're going to get a foul called against Providence. And Marquette will go to the free throw line. No, they shouldn't, because it's only team foul number 6. I didn't think that was in the act of shooting, but nonetheless, bonus situation. So Daling will go to the free throw line, and she hits the first one. She's in the books, her first point of the ball game. And she misses the second one. That was her first free throw attempts on the season as well. And Marquette will have the ball off the missed free throw and probably just run out the clock and come away with a season opening win in Big East play for the Marquette Golden Eagles. They have played well at home. They will be 8-1 at home. They were 12-1 at home last year. So Marquette continues to play well here, Matt, at the Al.
They certainly do. And, you know, you talk about Carolyn Keeger wanting to get home court advantage in the NCAA tournament. Wins like this at home really help your case with the committee.
And Marquette will put this one in the bank, and then they will go on and play their next game on Sunday, in which they will play host to Creighton. I should say that will be on Monday. On the 31st, they will play Creighton. Well, on Monday the 31st, it will be DePaul for Providence, as they will go down 90 miles down the road south to Chicago and play the DePaul Blue Demons and Doug Bruno and his squad. Erica Davenport today with a double-double, a career high in rebounds at 20 for Davenport. Leading the way was Natisha Heidemann, as she had 25 points in the ball game. King also contributed 13 for Marquette. But we'll take a break, and then we'll come back with an interview. We'll have Natisha Heidemann coming back off the break with an interview with Matt Schumacher. You're watching Big East Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Along with Matt Schumacher, Marquette wins 85-46 over Providence. And one of the stars of the ball game, a local kid, Natisha Heidemann, was on fire in this ball game. And she is standing courtside along with Matt Schumacher. Matt, take it away.
Thank you, Kat. Natisha, 25 points coming off the back of a 23-point performance against Notre Dame. What's given you the confidence over this last week to sort of take control for this team?
I mean, I would just say that we know this is, for us seniors, this is our last go, so we're all just kind of giving it everything we got, and we know how important conference is as far as seeding and stuff, so our goal is just to play as hard as we can every game.
One of the things that Carolyn Keeger had talked to us about coming into this game is the fact that you've become the most consistent player on the floor throughout the non-conference season. Where has that consistency come from for you this season?
I think it just comes from practice, you know. What you do in practice shows up in games, so just going hard every day. I said that's pretty much it.
You talk about all the weapons on this team, the seniors, there's 6 of you this year. In your mind, what's the biggest difference about Marquette this year from in years past?
I would just say we matured a lot, like honestly in every aspect, just as far as like body language and how we handle failure. And you know, when we're on the floor, if we get punched, we got to punch back. So I would say that's the biggest difference from last year to this year. We just know how to handle failure.
Natisha, thanks and congrats on the win.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Kent, back to you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Natisha. Fine game for Natisha Heidemann, the Green Bay native, playing here at Marquette. And we want to thank Megan O'Shea for bringing her over, Sports Information Director at Marquette, as well as Jennifer Reinerson, Sports Information Director at Providence. We thank them for all their help that they give us in preparing for these ball games. We'll take a break, then we'll come back and close it out, along with Matt and I. You're listening and watching Big East Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/. It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking.
Back at the Al McGuire Center, downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Ken Sommerfeld along with Matt Schumacher. Marquette victorious. They go to 1-0 in conference, while Providence falls to 0-1. Marquette ranked 19th and 22 in the country, are 10-3 overall. Providence drops to 8-5. And Matt, it was sort of the type of game we thought it might be, but weren't sure, but it played out the way it did.
Well, just a high-octane performance after a sluggish start from both sides. Marquette really found its groove, and a big reason that woman right there dishing it inside, Natisha Heidemann, was fantastic in all facets.
And Davenport as well, number 12 for Marquette, was good. She had a career-high 20 rebounds. Heidemann had back-to-back games where she had 23 against Notre Dame right there on the long three. She also had 25 this afternoon against Providence, and Spingola off the bench got into the play, and Davenport was just the electric for Marquette in this ball game, especially with their star Alizea Blockton. One of their stars, I should say, went out with an ankle injury mid-second quarter and didn't return in the game.
Yeah, we wish the best to Alizea Blockton, of course. Hope for a speedy recovery after the ankle injury, but you look at the depth of this Marquette team, and even without Blockton, they are still one of the most dangerous teams, not only in the conference, Kent, but in the country.
Yeah, they're looking to get into the NCAAs and make a deep run. They've gone to the they haven't gone to the Sweet 16. They've been to the Elite 32 two times, but never to the Sweet 16. That's the goal for this season for the Marquette Golden Eagles and their head coach, Carolyn Keeger. They come away with a solid victory this afternoon, 85-46. Looking at some of the numbers, we look at Providence. They ended up shooting 17 of 54, but they were 3 of 30, Matt, in the first half from the field. They just struggled early on to get made buckets.
But I think you have to hang your hat on something after a loss like this, and I think the way they came out and competed still in the second half really shows the character of this team and the fact that Jim Crowley is recruiting tough, gritty players who will be able to sort of handle taking these losses on the chin in order to build the program to where they want it to be.
And they saw some young players sort of step up in this ball game. Baskerville had 8 points. Geary, with those 3 threes off the bench, had a nice game for the freshmen. So you talk 2 freshmen right there that are contributing in this game today that will contribute in the future, taking some of the pressure, at least this season, off Yo-Yo Nogic, who's had all that pressure over the years to carry this team offensively. She now has some young help with her on this ball club.
No doubt about it, and I think they'll only continue to get better as the conference season goes along.
Well, Marquette goes to 1-0, and Providence drops to 0-1 in conference play, and they'll both play on the 31st and continued play in the Big East. Well, we thank you, Matt. It was fun doing the game ball
sir. Yes.
with you. We had a great time. We want to thank our crew, Wes Larson, the producer, Josh Stabenow, the director, Justin Cunningham in the truck on the replay, our camera guys, Jordan Gamble, Ryan Nowak, Rick Riley, Daniel Fisher. Rick Riley, how does he write for Sports Illustrated and do the camera here? I don't know. Anyways, we want to thank the crew for the great job that they did, bringing you all the pictures and the sound throughout this ball game. Once again, the final, it was Marquette 85, Providence 46. You're watching Big East basketball on the Big East Digital Network.